Hi. So here we are, Unit 1, Section 2, or 1.2, and we're talking about composition and composition functions, and when we get function f and function g, and we put them together to make a new function. So it's not as bad as it looks, but it kind of gets funky as we start doing some crazy stuff over here. But everything will be okay. So just know when we're adding two functions, you simply get function f of x and you add to function g of x. It's the same idea with subtraction, but just be careful that you're subtracting the whole entire g function, okay? So be careful with that negative. That usually gets some people. Product, you literally multiply, and quotient, you divide, or you simplify the factors. Here's what's going to look like. So I have f of x is this pretty function right here in yellow, and then g of x is this pretty function right here in red. So all you have to do, add them together. So easy money. 2x plus 1 plus x squared plus 2x minus 1. Since we're special, we're extra, we're going to put that in order, in standard form. So you go from the highest exponent to the least exponent. So x squared. So now you remember you had to combine like terms. So 2x plus 2x is 4x. And then I have 1 minus 1 is 0. So there's nothing else I can do to simplify this, make it pretty. So when you add f plus g of x, you get x squared plus 4x. Easy. Like I said earlier, just be careful with the negative right there because you're subtracting the whole g function, not just the first term. So f function, I have 2x plus 1. And then you're going to subtract the whole entire g of x, which is x squared plus 2x minus 1. So minus g of x is x squared plus 2x minus 1. If you want to use parentheses there instead of the brackets, that's fine too. Distribute the negative. And you're going to combine like terms and put that in standard form. So the highest degree right there, negative x squared. You're going to combine. So I have 2x minus 2x is 0. 1 plus 1, 2. One multiplication, so I'm finding f times g of x. Now f of x is this one, g of x is this one. So multiply that. X squared times 1 minus x. Distribute like you're used to. So x squared times 1 is x squared. X squared times x is x cubed. This is not in standard form. Let's just go ahead and do that. We will get into the habit of organizing that and putting your answer in standard form. So always the highest degree comes first. So negative x cubed plus x squared. So now the next one, we not only need to evaluate f of f over g of 4. So we have a couple things we have to do here. We have to do f over g of x, and then we need to evaluate for 4, or when x equals 4. We're going to do this in a couple different steps. So f of x is that right there, x squared. G of x is that one, 1 minus x. I cannot simplify this x squared with x. No, do not do that. Now I have to evaluate when x equals 4, and that's what this means. This is evaluate, or give me a number, when x equals 4. So go ahead and substitute that for x. So 4 squared, 1 minus 4. 4 squared is 16. 1 minus 4 is 3. Negative 3, just kidding. Okay, and there's nothing I can do to this one. I cannot simplify that fraction. And if you could, you would have to. So function composition is another way to combine functions. You can think of a function as a box. And then we can put almost anything inside it and even another box. Hold that thought, and we're going to see what it looks like. So, and we're going to put a box inside the other box. The way you read this, you read F is composed with G. So F is composed with G. Okay? Or F of G of X. It's going to look a little better when we work out an example. We still have two functions, F of X and G of X. So we need to find what is F when F is composed with G of X. What does that mean? You're going to start with the F of X. You're going to start with this yellow function. But then what are you going to substitute in there for X? Well, you're going to substitute in G of X. So since this is the same as F of G of X, you're going to substitute 4 minus X squared into X. So I'm looking for F of G of X. So that means you're going to plug in 4 minus X squared into this X. So I'm going to color code this for you. 4 minus X squared, that's your X. That's this X right here, plus 2. Now, there's nothing I need to multiply. There's not a negative I need to worry about. You just simplify. 4 minus X squared plus 2. Let's combine like terms and write it in standard form. So negative X squared plus 6. It is not bad once you understand what you're supposed to do. So now I have G is composed with F of X. Now we're doing the other way around. I have to start with the G function and substitute this into the X value. So that's what we were saying in the previous page, when you substitute that with the box. Okay, so I'm looking for G of F of X. Okay, so I'm starting with the G function. So I have 4 minus. Now I see X right here. I'm going to use this for X. Sorry to use yellow. Can you see that? Let's zoom in. Yeah, you can see that. So notice that I used the yellow function x plus 2 right there to substitute this x from g of x. And this is squared. Okay, x plus 2 squared, that means x plus 2 times x plus 2. If you want to do the box, you do the box. If you want to do it mentally, you do it mentally. But just because this is really early in the year, we're going to write it out. So x plus 2 times x plus 2, here's the box, you multiply, and then you combine. So 4 minus x squared plus 4x plus 4. Guys, you need to be able to do this like the back of your hand. You should not spend more than 10 seconds doing this. So 4 minus, distribute the negative, x squared minus 4x minus 4. The last step, you just need to write it all in standard form. Negative x squared minus 4x, and here I have 4 minus 4 is 0. I'm not going to write a 0 there. It looks silly. Okay. The end. One more. So just like in the previous page, I was supposed to evaluate for x equals whatever that is. In this case, x equals 3. I will not only find g is composed with f of x, but I also need to find, after I find g is composed with f of x, I need to find when x is -3. So we're going to go through the whole process. But the good news is we already did this here. Okay? So we don't have to do it again. It's already done in the previous question. Hooray! So when x is -3, I already have this function. So let's work for me. So -x² minus 4x, and that came from the previous question because I already found what g is composed with f of x is. Now, just substitute that for x. Be careful because this is negative, and when you square a negative, you're going to end up with ding, 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 a positive. -4, substitute -3 right there. Square the negative, you get a +9. And you're like, you just got a minus right there. Well, this minus belongs to that one. And this +9 is the result of squaring the -3 that I got +9 right there. Okay, but this 9 belongs to that minus belongs to that minus. -4 times -3 is +12. Combine them or add them. 12 minus 9 is 3. I will make another video for the next 3 questions right there.